Now for our fourth class, we're going to look at opening the bidding one no trump and responding to an opening bid of one no trump. Now, an opening bid of one no trump, the weak no trump, shows a balanced hand with 12, 13 or 14 points. And if you do have a balanced hand with that number of points, then you must open the bidding one no trump. So let's have a look at Caroline's hand now. First of all, let's remind ourselves what we mean by balanced. We're referring to the shape of the hand. It's a hand that doesn't contain a void, doesn't contain a singleton, and doesn't contain more than one doubleton. And there are three balanced distributions in bridge. There's the 4-3-3-3, the 5-3-3-2, and the most common one of all, and indeed the one that Caroline is holding, the 4-4-3-2. So here we are, 13 points, 4-4-3-2, and that is an opening bid of one no trump. Now there may be some of you who might balk at the idea of opening one no trump when you have two suits that are very weak that the opponents might run through. But a one no trump opening bid doesn't promise significant high cards in all the suits. It just shows a balanced distribution. And Caroline describes her hand perfectly by this opening bid of one no trump. And because she describes her hand so accurately, it would be relatively rare that she even has to make one further bid in the auction. It's really down to the responder to choose the final contract. So let's have a look now at some possible hands that partner might hold. So Claire, if you'd like to put your hand on the table, and we'll discuss what we think Claire should respond to partner's opening bid of one no trump. Now bear in mind the key point, which is that normally Claire can select the final contract immediately. So much does she know about her partner's hand. Now then, let's have a look. What we notice here is that Claire has 6 cards in spades. And because her partner must have at least 2 cards in all the suits, being balanced, Claire knows that the partnership have at least 8 spades together, which means that they have a fit. And furthermore, holding 13 points in her hand, facing a partner who has advertised at least 12, Claire knows that there are 25 points between the partnership, the values for game. So Claire knows that spades should be trumps, the values for game are present, and so she correctly goes straight to 4 spades. Perfect. Now let's make Claire's hand a little bit weaker. Now this time, Claire's only got 4 points. But it would be a grave error to leave partner in one no trump, because look at the hand. Surely it's going to play a lot better with spades as trumps than in no trumps. So with this hand, Claire would bid 2 spades. And remember, when partner opens the bidding one no trump, it's very rare that they bid again. So partner would not bid on over the 2 spade bid. Indeed, you could have absolutely no points at all and still bid 2 spades. The 6-point rule for responding, that applies when partners opened one of a suit, not when partners opened the bidding one no trump. Now here, Claire has 6 cards in spades, which means that she knows that there's a spade fit. But even if she just had 5 cards in spades, so I'm taking a spade away here, it would still be correct bridge for her to bid 2 spades. called a weakness takeout when partner opens the bidding 1 no trump and you bid 2 of a suit. It's a terminal bid, consistent with no points at all. Good. Now, let's have a look at this hand that Claire might hold. I did say it was relatively rare for the 1 no trump opening bidder to be called upon to speak again, but there will be certain times. And have a look at Claire's hand here. She's got a game-going hand, 14 points, but she's actually not sure which game to go for. If the 1 no trump opener's got 3-card support for her 5-card spade suit, then 4 spades will be the better game. But it won't necessarily be, because partner may only have a doubleton spade. So Claire's bid here is to jump to 3 spades. Now by jumping, she's showing a game-going hand, so partner is not going to pass. And if the 1 no trump opener has at least 3 cards in spades, then she'll say 4 spades. But if she's only got a doubleton spade, then she'll say 3 no trumps. At least that way the partnership play in a game contract. So the emphasis is on playing 4 of a major if you have an 8-card fit in that major, otherwise to play in 3 no trumps. Good. Now let's make Claire's hand more of a minor suited hand. Now perhaps the temptation is to jump to 3 diamonds. But game in a minor suit is a very, very difficult proposition. I'm sure you've had the experience of playing in 5 clubs or 5 diamonds, struggling away, making 10 tricks, feeling you've done really well, but actually all you're doing is seeing the opponents write a score above the line on their side. So rather than aim for game in a minor, much better just to bid 3 no trumps. And that would be the correct bid with this hand here. And I do agree that once in a while the opponents are going to run through the hearts or possibly the spades, but I assure you that you just have to take those short-term losses on the chest, because in the long run you'll be a winner by playing these minor suit game hands in 3 no trumps. Now let's change Claire's hand slightly. This would be a more obvious bid of 3 no trumps. Claire's got a balanced hand with 14 points. That's enough strength to go for game, and no interest in any major suits, so she would just close the bidding out with a jump to 3 no trumps. But let's make our hand slightly weaker. Now, 11 points. Claire has 11 points. Is that enough to go 3 no trumps? Well, the answer is not necessarily. This is going to be another occasion when Claire needs more information from the 1 no trump opener. And so what Claire would do with this hand, having game invitational values, is she would bid 2 no trumps. And that bid there says, partner, I have a maybe game hand. If you've got a maximum hand for your 1 no trump opener, i.e. 14 points, then I want you to say 3 no trumps, because then we'll have the 25 points we need for game. But if you've got a minimum hand for your 1 no trump, just 12 points, then partner, I want you to leave it in 2 no trumps. Interesting question of what partner should do with 13 points for their 1 no trump opener. Well, I would suggest that you look at your hand and see whether you fancy your 13 points, and look particularly at whether you have a 5-card suit, perhaps your 5-3-3-2 in your 1 no trump opener, and also look to see if you have some 10s, perhaps 9s, cards that make tricks but that you haven't counted any points for. So this is an example of a 2 no trump bid. But if I took away just 1 point from the hand, one might be tempted to bid in response to the 1 no trump opener. But if you think about it, 10 points facing even a maximum 1 no trump opener from partner of 14 would only give 24 points. So there's no possibility of a game. And given that you're happy with the no trumps, the best thing to do is just to leave the 1 no trump and say pass. Good. So we've had a good look at responding to an opening bid of one no trump, and what I want us to do now is to collate what we've learned. Now here we are, and we see that the critical question that responder has to ask is, have we got enough strength to go for game? Now if the answer to that question is no, which essentially means that the responder will have between 0 and 10 points, then if he's got a 5-card suit in his hand, he should bid it as a rescuing manoeuvre. But without a 5-card suit, then he should just leave partner in the one no trump. Now when the responder does have enough strength for game, which essentially means 13 or more points, the emphasis is whether or not the responder thinks they have an 8-card fit in a major. If the responder has a 6-card major, then he knows that they have a fit. Bear in mind that opener must have at least 2 cards in every single suit, being balanced. And so he simply jumps to 4 of the major. If the responder has a 5-card major, then he jumps to 3 of the major. And that bid says, partner, please bid 4 of that major if you have 3 or more cards in support, but bid 3 no trumps if you only have 2. And I've put it in red there because only those red bids get the one no trump opener to speak again. And now, finally, if the one no trump responder has a maybe hand, in other words, between 11 or 12 points, doesn't know whether or not they have the strength for game, then if he's got a balanced hand, then he can invite game by saying 2 no trumps. Unfortunately, there is no other invitational to game bid facing a one no trump opener, so my suggestion would be that if the responder had, say, 12 points with 6 cards in hearts, he should upgrade his hand. Surely the 6-card suit is going to be worth a point or so. He should treat it as though he has a game-going hand, and therefore, if he has got 6 cards in hearts, jump to 4 of his hearts. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some pairs of hands, the one no trump opener and the responder, and we're going to see how they would bid. So come back with me. Now let's have a look at these 2 pairs of hands. We've got in front of Caroline here, we've got 12 points, 4, 4, 3, 2, and so it's an opening bid of one no trump. Notice that Caroline's not troubled by having 2 relatively weak suits. The one no trump describes the shape of her hand and the strength. And now we move over to Claire's hand, and Claire has a fine 6-card spade suit, which means that she knows that the partnership have a spade fit, and she's got 12 points. Theoretically, the partnership may be 1 point short of the 25 they need for game, but the 6-card suit and the shape of the hand will more than compensate, so Claire goes straight to 4 spades. This is a very, very typical auction beginning with one no trump, just containing 2 bids. Now there are many parts of the world, America, France and elsewhere, who prefer to play the strong no trump, where a one no trump opening bid shows 15, 16 or 17 points. In Britain, we still prefer the weak no trump, and perhaps the best reason for playing a weak no trump is quite simply that it happens so often, about 3 times as often as the strong no trump. And because auctions are so much easier when they begin with one no trump, let's open one no trump as often as we can. Here's another example. Now, Caroline has a 5, 3, 3, 2 distribution with 13 points. Not too concerned about having 2 small cards in hearts, and not tempted to open the bidding 1 club because her hand is balanced and falls into her one no trump range. Caroline opens one no trump. So let's have a look now at Claire's hand. Claire has a game-going hand. She's got 13 points in her hand, but this is one of those relatively rare situations where she cannot actually place the game at this point. She needs more information from partner. And because she's got a game-going hand with a 5-card major, needing 3-card support for partner, she makes a jump to 3 hearts. Now, if Caroline had had 3 or more hearts in her hand, she would have said 4 hearts. But because she's only got 2 of them, she knows that they don't have a fit in hearts, and therefore the game they should play is 3 no trumps. Now let's have a look at a final pair of hands, and Caroline 14 points, 4, 4, 3, 2, opening bid, 1 no trump. Now let's move over to Claire, the partner. Now, what do we think? Do we think Claire has a definite game-going hand, or definitely no interest in game, or maybe? Well, with 11 points, Claire has a maybe hand, and because her hand is actually balanced, the best bid for her to make here is 2 no trumps, which asks partner if they're minimum or maximum for their 1 no trump opening bid. And because Caroline has 14 points, that's the most she could have, Caroline accepts the invitation and goes on to 3 no trumps. And this is quite an interesting hand to play, but we'll actually be playing it together in our next class. Now, we've had an extensive look at opening and responding to 1 no trump, and we're going to move to looking at opening and responding to an opening bid of 2 no trumps. So Caroline, if you'd like to put your cards on the table. Now Caroline has 21 points and she has a balanced hand, 4, 4, 3, 2. And an opening bid of 2 no trumps shows a balanced hand with 20 to 22 points. So notwithstanding the fact that she has 2 small cards in diamonds, Caroline correctly opens the bidding 2 no trumps. And it would still be correct for Caroline to open 2 no trumps if I change her hand slightly so that she has a 5-card major. Good. Now we're going to move around and have a look at the strategies for the responder to a 2 no trump opening bid. Now, what do we think that Claire should do with that hand? Now, the key issues, just as though partner had opened 1 no trump, are whether or not we have an 8-card fit in a major and whether or not we can go for game. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the responder to 2 no trump line. Responding to 2 no trumps. Again, the key question, have we got game? Up to about 4 points, the answer is no. And unfortunately, there's no weakness takeout, and so we have to pass. But with 4, a decent looking 4 or more, then we have got enough strength for game. And then the key issue, as with responding to an opening bid of 1 no trump, is whether or not we have an 8-card fit in a major. If we have a 6-card major ourselves, then we jump to 4 of the major, and if we have a 5-card major, then we bid 3 of the major to ask the 2 no trump opener whether he has 3-card support, whence he will bid 4 of that major, or just 2 cards, whence he will bid 3 no trumps. So now what we're going to have a look at is Claire's hand, and let's see if you can find the correct response to the 2 no trump opener. Now, Claire's got just 4 points, but I hope you'd agree with me that they are a pretty good looking 4 points. 6 cards in spades. Claire knows that her partner has 2 cards in spades for the balanced hand, and so she's going to take the bull by the horns and she's going to say 4 spades. Excellent bid, Claire. But if we took away a spade and we added another card, then now Claire would still just go for game, but rather than jumping to 4 spades, she'd have to say 3 spades, because if partner only had a doubleton spade, then they'd have to play in 3 no trumps. Good. Now let's change Claire's hand slightly. So now what do we think that Claire should do with this minor suit oriented hand? I hope that you've realised the unattractiveness of playing game in a minor, so provided game values are present, then we would always opt for 3 no trumps, and there is the correct bid made by Claire. Now, just to finish up, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at 3 of the most important things that I want you to take away with you in the opening 1 no trump and responding, and opening 2 no trump and responding areas of the game. Firstly, if you have a balanced hand with 12, 13 or 14 points, then you must open the bidding 1 no trump. Even if you have suits that are unstopped, in other words, no ace, king, queen, and also if you have a 5-card major. This latter point is quite contentious, but the modern school is very much to open the bidding 1 no trump when you have a 5-card major in a 5-3-3-2, because it does describe your hand so accurately and it avoids the need for a rebid. Second point, when partners open the bidding 1 no trump and describe their hand so accurately, the responder is the boss of the auction, and normally he can select the final contract right away. So let's have a look at the third point now. Avoid minor suit games. Don't avoid minor suits at lower levels, but once you realise that the partnership have enough strength for game, then avoid the dreaded 5 clubs and 5 diamonds and rather play in 3 no trumps. And that's the end of our class. Now, if you